Okay, I'm going to show you how to create a new Git book by creating a github.com repository in the PSU Arts and Architecture organization on GitHub. So to first do that, you have to navigate to github.com/PSU-arts-arch, or another way to find it would be to go to your profile by clicking on your picture in the top right corner, go to Profile, and then organizations that you are involved with are listed down here on the left. So we can click on PSU Arts and Architecture, and it has this automatically generated pink icon until we change the icon of that. Okay, so to create a new repository, we click on the new button. And I'm going to create one called Dart 201. And it's important that you add a README file so that the Gitbook sync has a file to import. Otherwise, it might not work if there's nothing in the repository. So let's click Create. Okay, now we can see our repository is created. To add contributors, you go to the settings, click on Collaborators and Teams, and you can add a person or a team, and I'm going to add a whole team that I've already created called Gitbook Editors. And we can select them to be in read view or write permission level, or you can add individual people down here at the bottom. I'm going to add all the Gitbook editors, and now they should all have access. So if we go back to the Dart 201 repository view here, we can see that we have a README markdown file. Okay, to get this into Gitbook, we have to open gitbook.com. You also have to make sure you don't accidentally create the book in your personal profile. It should be done in the Arts and Architecture organization. And to get to that, you can click on your image at the top right and go to PSU Arts and Architecture, and we can see that one book has already been created. We have a starter book that's meant to be an example. To add a new one, it's pretty easy. You just come up here to New, scroll down, click on GitHub. I like to name it the same thing, but you can change this name after the fact, so it's not a big deal if you want to change it later. And then we want to select the repository. These repositories are dynamically listed from the GitHub organization repositories. So we're going to select Dart 201, which I've already created about a minute ago, and then we can click Create Book. And this will by default be open to the public, so just keep that in mind. If you want to lock it down, it's very easy to do that. So let's see if it's been created yet. It does take a couple minutes in some cases, depending on how busy their servers are. And if we click on Update here, it will show you sort of what it's working on. So we can go into here. Sometimes it actually shows you the code. So if we refresh this, we can see it's kind of working hard. And let's go and see if it's done. Okay, so on the About tab, we can see the overview. I don't have anything written in that initial markdown file, so it just has the title for now. To edit this on the internet, we can click the Edit button here, and it will open Gitbook.com's user editor interface, right? And this edits in Markdown. So I'm not going to show a tutorial of how to actually use this, but we can see that this is created. So let's make a change and see if we can have it reflected in github.com. Okay, so I'm going to change this back to, or change it to Dart 201 instead of how it was sort of default formatted. Course description. Okay, so that will be changed with real text at some point. So I want to publish my changes. Okay, and now that I've published them, it should have pushed it back to GitHub. So let's see if that has happened. If I refresh this page here, we can see the README file now has course description written in it. And we obviously just changed this header here. So that's working, and that's a good sign. If you want to add a file structure or a table of contents structure here, you can add an article, and I'll just call this, let's call it lesson 1. Click add. Okay, and I'm not going to add anything to this, but this structure, this table of contents will get remembered in a file called summary.markdown, and that doesn't get generated until you add one here. So let's again publish this, go back here, and let's go to the Dart 201 code view here, and we can see that the summary markdown has been added, and it automatically created a lesson 1 markdown file. If you don't want this to be a file, if you want it to be sort of a parent, there are ways to do that, so you don't need to have a file for each navigational element that ends up populating the TOC. Okay, and that's about it.